Right, just mixing up my resin. I've just realised what I haven't done. I've not masked out the window. And I know the windows are going to get changed, so it doesn't really matter too much, but I'm just trying to make the boat look as good as I can for a while, you know. And if I do get a bit of resin over there and whatnot, it makes it easier to sand back to the tape rather than trying to sand into the window. Yeah, that'll do. It took me a few minutes just to sort that out. My fault. Let's get cracking. If I've got a little coat of resin going on, then that'll help it as it starts flashing off. That'll help the cloth stick. Right up to the edge for that resin. Good job, I'll put that plastic down. I'll put some more tape over my hinges. They're quite expensive, I don't want them ones ruined. Right, there we go. That's everything covered. I'm going to start off with this top section here. Dog that in. That's stuck. Right, next bit. Up here. Shoulders playing up now. Get home, put a heat pad on that, hopefully that'll sort that out again. It's a lot better than it was yesterday though. Right, now this is soaked in for a little second. You know, to just work it a little better. It looks like it's gone in already actually, so it's pretty good. Nice. Glass over that. Bob that in. Covered that nicely. Like I say, there was a tiny little pinhole right next to the filler that was ground out there, but it was so small. Literally that bit of glass has just bridged it across. The next bit will go over the top. It's not going to show as a void. More than adequate, and it'll be better than the original what was there anyway. Absolutely fine. I think sometimes I'm a little bit too fussy. Just that bit just isn't worth it. It's not worth worrying about. I can still see that's a low spot there, but what I'll end up with is a bit of build up. Yeah, so this will be a high spot, but that's just the way it is. So for most of these what I'll end up with is a little high spot, and when I glass over it I'll have a big high spot there, but I can sand into that and sand it a bit more level, you know. Gives me plenty of glass to take away, less filler. A tiny bit more in that one because that's really low, just on the edge. Try and build it more on the hull, not quite so much around it. Better. Soak in for a second. Move on to the next one. Get the little first layering bits on all of them, then go around with the next bit. Let that glass just soak up a bit of resin whilst I'm working the next one, and I can go back to it and work it in. Then dob over my feathered bit. Out of resin. Next, that one. One more to go. Go. Right. So that's all my holes done. Tiny little low spot there. a little bit more build in that hole without coming out too much further and making this area too high. So that. Okay, right, that's pretty much done, and I used all that resin, so let's get rid of that. Remix some more resin and get this top skin on. I'll mix up a bit more for this. I don't want to run out. I'd rather chuck a little bit away if I have to. Let's get a bit more resin up there. I can't brush this on because I don't want to move the glass that I've just put on there and introduce a load of air. I only brush in certain areas. Dogged on. Right, I'll line up the hole in this edge. Without sliding it around too much. Just a small adjustment, but I don't want to be twisting it about too much. That'll do. It's good. There we go, right. All up there. Some on the back of the cloth there, just to get that up and holding. I need to wet this out and get this top pliable so I can manoeuvre it into place, get it sticking back into place and get it soft enough to hold the shape of the hole as I'm pushing it in. Now it takes a couple of seconds for that resin to break down the strands so it conforms to the shape that I'm trying to press it into. Like so. Now we're starting to get there. Sticking. A roller would probably be better for this surface, but roll it out. Definitely for this upper surface, a roller is far easier. So I'm going to need some more resin. Let's drunk all that in half a sheet. Oh, I'm splashing this everywhere. I've got some cleaning up to do. That up there. There we go, done. Resin out, right, let's mix up some more. Get in there now. We don't need quite as much This time I've covered most of it. I've got a little bit of dry down the bottom there. Tend to go on a little bit lighter at the bottom with the resin, because most, it's going to run down, gravity. Just make sure it's all wetted out, especially up to this edge around the window there. Still white, no resin at all there, so I've got to build that up, get that in. I've probably mixed up too much resin now, but I'd rather a little bit over the top than run out. Now I'm going to run that excess out with a roller in a second. Make sure we're right up there. Well wetted out. Big air void there. It's got to go back. So it wants plenty of resin on it. Work this out now. So let's add a minute to let that resin soak in, so the glass is nice and soft. So hopefully now it will conform to the shape of the boat, and we can walk out the air and be left with a nice layer. See that excess resin, way too much now, so, but that's what I want. Is I want a good coat of resin on there. I don't want it dry. I'd rather have too much than not enough. I'm going to roll it out now. So as you roll that down, all that excess resin, look, running down the face. I don't know how well the camera's picking that up. That is excess resin, not needed. But we're not pushing on that. I don't want to squash the resin out of it. Quite the opposite. I want the resin to stay in it and just remove the surface excess. What's on the surface? That's excess, not what's in the glass holding it together. Now these sections here where I've got the holes that I've filled, I want to make sure that they're conformed together. And what this will do is it'll flatten them off a little bit, squash the 2 or 3 layers together and get rid of any excess resin. However, I'm not pushing hard, I'm just rolling over it. Bubble there, gone. A load of excess resin there, see? And most of that resin is coming towards the bottom, so we don't need to put quite as much resin at the bottom as we do the top, because it's all going to run down. That excess makes a mess. The professional probably knows more precisely how much to put on, so they don't get so much excess coming out, you know. I'm not a professional, this is just me doing my boat very professionally. So you drive this around, rolling out the air. You don't drive it backwards, forwards, backwards, forwards, backwards, forwards, all over the place. You know, you're not rolling it like you're doing the hoovering at home. I don't even hoover like that, I hoover in straight lines. If I don't get time to gel coat this or anything, it just means it'll have to be sanded next time. So be it. I'm hoping to come back and gel coat it if I can. I've pretty much been over that now, so I'm just going to run down one side to the other, making sure I've not missed anything. No pressure, really lightly now. I'm just doing the top half down to the middle. I know I've not done this bit yet, so I'm going to roll that out that way. That excess resin will leave a bead there. Yeah, just there. That's just all excess resin. Let that dry, set up, and sand it off. Now I'm going to do the next step from that middle down. This is where a lot of the excess is going to start running down the bottom. Going to bring it all down to that line again, especially when I know I've pretty much been, no pressure at all. Now this last bit I'm just going to roll out that way, make sure there's no air there. There's the excess. I'm going to work my way back across, letting that drip off. I'm not going to worry about these edges so much. I'll sand them off. A little bit slower as you go over it. Where I know I've been, I was just going over that a bit quicker, just to smooth out the lines of resin that are coming off the edge. Now all that excess on the bottom there, that could all set up like that, and I can run the sander over there. This has already been glassed under here and onto there, so I can just take that off. Beautiful. Pleased with that, looks good. Little check over. Now's the time, you know, any little bits that need to go over, now is the time before it starts setting up. Quite pleased with that, looks good. Can't see any voids, no bubbles, all hunky-dory. Right, now we need some acetone, have a little clean up, and I am done. So I made that end out of a stainless bolt, and I made it on purposely loose so that it rattles a little bit. It's got a little bit of play in it. Means I can wash the resin out easier. On the tighter fitting roller, that come with it. One, it was a lot thinner in diameter, so it didn't roll as well. As soon as it got wet with resin, it just started sliding over the surface rather than rolling. So I've got a slightly larger roller on it. That helps it roll better, and because I've left a little bit of slack in it, it enables me to clean it easier. Not bad. Got a little bit of leftover resin there. We'll stick that outside the boat. Let that set. Right, very carefully without touching the fresh glass. Pushing that door shut. I don't want that there. Oh, I did make a mess, didn't I? Look, a new hatch. There we go. Right, that's it. She's done. What's the time? Woohoo! Not bad. Nearly time to go. Right, well, thanks for watching Life of Dave. That's me done for today. I'll catch you all next time. Bye for now.